What do you get when you mix a religious fanatic, a ruthless warlord, and a Shakespearean legend? You get Henry the Bloody Fifth, England's golden boy with a sword in one hand, a Bible in the other, and absolutely no chill whatsoever. Oh yes, today we're diving into the life of a man who thought conquering France was a spiritual hobby. Henry of Monmouth comes to the throne in 1413 like a monk who accidentally found the cheat codes to total war. He's lean, pale, prayerful, and within months he's imprisoning heretics, launching military campaigns, and single-handedly reviving the 100 Years' War, like some medieval version of Call of Duty Divine Right Edition. He literally confessed all his sins the night his dad died. Not to a bishop, not to a priest, no, but to a hermit living in Westminster Abbey. And you know you've got some juicy skeletons in your closet when your first act as king is a confession marathon. And then there's Sir John Oldcastle, Henry's old drinking buddy who decided he'd rather burn than bend. Quite literally. He got caught promoting lollardy, an early form of Protestantism, and refused to recant. Henry gave him 40 days to rethink it. Oldcastle used that time to escape, plot the king's murder, and start a revolution with about as much planning as a pub brawl. The result? A failed rebellion at St. Giles's Fields, 38 men hanged, and Oldcastle on the run for 4 years. When they finally caught him, they hanged him over a fire that also burned the gallows down. That's efficiency and dramatic flair. Shakespeare later renamed him Falstaff because Oldcastle was now considered a Protestant hero. Branding, darling, it's everything. But enough religion, let's talk war. Because if Henry loved anything more than hymns and heretics, it was turning French knights into modern art using longbows. Agincourt, 1415. Henry lands in France with 8,000, half of whom are archers. The French show up with 20,000, fully armoured and probably smelling faintly of horse and overconfidence. The English dig stakes into the mud, pray eat a bit of soil like it's communion hors d'oeuvres, and then unleash hell. The arrows fly. Horses panic. Frenchmen flail in the mud like drunken toddlers at Glastonbury. And then Henry, our chivalrous Christian king, orders the execution of unarmed prisoners. Why? No one really knows. Maybe he thought they looked at him funny. But let's just say it made the ransom negotiations very awkward. Back in London, Henry's treated like the second coming of Christ. If Christ had a fondness for chainmail and siege warfare. Giant puppets on London Bridge. Pageants. Choirs. He even starts wearing a new imperial crown, just to remind everyone that humility is for peasants. He was now, according to public relations, the flower of the world and soldier of Christ. Then comes the Treaty of Troy. Henry marries the French king's daughter, gets declared heir to the French throne and presumably celebrates by besieging another town. Because Henry doesn't do honeymoons, he does sieges. And then he dies. Fever, 1422. Aged 35, leaves behind an 8-month-old baby and a country wondering, wait, why did we conquer France again? Spoiler alert, it didn't last. The French got their act together, kicked the English out, and by the time Henry's son was old enough to pick up a sword, the whole Anglo-French Empire idea was circling the drain. So, viewer, what did we learn today? That being devout doesn't stop you from being a war criminal. That conquering France sounds great until someone has to pay for it. And that even the most celebrated kings can be, in retrospect, slightly unhinged religious nationalists with a longbow fetish. Oh, and if someone ever offers to crown you king of 2 countries at once, say no, or at least check the fine print. Tag the person in your life who definitely confessed their sins to a hermit in a church basement. And follow for more history drenched with sarcasm and dread.